So just a few examples of the amazing organizations happening all around the great state of New Hampshire that are serving the causes of others. And we have another wonderful example of those kinds of programs, joined by Jon Eriquezzo, the president of Meals on Wheels of Hillsborough County. And Jon, thanks for being here. So I'm seeing by your stats, you serve and deliver more than 430,000 meals each year throughout just Hillsborough County. I can't even wrap my head around that much service to the community. I guess I didn't realize there was that much need.
There's a huge need, and it's a huge operation, whether you're a small Meals on Wheels provider or a big Meals on Wheels provider like us. We're the largest in the state. You got to do everything to exacting specifications. You got to make sure that the meal meets specific dietary requirements. You got to make sure that your drivers are trained. Got to make sure that the food is either being delivered cold or hot. It's a process. It really is.
That's a lot of
Speaking to that
logistics.
number, I mean, just like food insecurity, it's an invisible issue. You know, it's not an issue that is in front of people every day and they see it. But that's why a number like that is so astounding. Even in Hillsborough County, that's amazing.
And just remember that hunger isn't all about lack of food. It's about lack of nutrition,
Right.
as well. And we were having a conversation just off camera about our folks who maybe their nutrition wasn't right. They're not eating what they should, and that really progresses a decline in health. So it's important to get a balanced meal. And we, by the way, we can do up to 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So let me ask about, with the Meals on Wheels program, and you're coming into contact with a lot of elderly. I have elderly family members who are participating in the program, and it's a life changer. I'll tell you, it is a life changer for a lot of reasons, but I want to ask about, over the last 3 years with COVID, you know, the elderly population has had to deal with issues, again, unseen, kind of invisible ones, but I'm sure that you've seen that, and it also must affect what you guys do.
Yeah.
It certainly does. So here's what we're seeing. Since the COVID pandemic, we're talking for the past 2 years, isolation has gone up by about 200%.
Right.
So most of the people we serve say that the Meals on Wheels driver is the only visitor they get all week, which is really, if you think about it, it's really scary.
And heartbreaking.
And heartbreaking. And isolation can sometimes have a worse health effect than even smoking cigarettes.
Right.
And not to mention that we do a wellness check.
Right.
And so, you know, unfortunately, there are some people that we go in and visit with them, and we find them, and they've fallen and can't get up. We're there to help.
Right.
And we call their next of kin, and we make sure they get help. But sometimes people pass, unfortunately, but at least we're eyes on. We're in the home.
Yeah.
We're not just leaving a meal in the mailbox or on the front step. We knock on the door. If we don't get an answer, we call the next of kin or their emergency contact. If they don't get an answer, depending upon what town you're in, Manchester has a great process right now where they have a system for doing wellness checks just for Meals on Wheels. But we call the police.
Yeah.
And the police will go in and do a wellness check.
I want to ask about, you mentioned nutrition, you know, and a lot of elderly folks can get in that routine of eating not enough or not enough, certainly not enough nutritional food. And, you know, the folks that I know, the elderly folks in my family that are beneficiaries of the program, they rave about hey, look, we're getting food that we wouldn't normally have had before. And that is a level of excitement that makes them want to eat, and it's better nutritionally, it's better all around for them, but it also, it puts a spring in their step, and that you can't oversell that. That is an amazing thing.
It certainly does. And let me kick it up just a notch higher. Meals on Wheels does something called community dining. And that's to encourage seniors to get out.
Right.
If you're 60 and over, you can come out, get a free meal.
That's great.
And socialize.
And socialize.
It was designed to help get people out of the house and reduce isolation. Now, the problem is, over the past 10 years, attendance nationally to community dining has declined.
Okay.
It's because seniors now, it's not the silent generation, it's now the baby boomers.
Right.
They have different expectations in food, setting. They don't want to go to the basement of a church to a community dining center, you know?
Right.
And so one of the things that we've done is we were selected to do a pilot in the state to do a restaurant voucher program. That means that we partner with a local restaurant, and we can give away vouchers.
That's great.
To seniors, and they can go to the restaurant, redeem that voucher, and get a healthy meal.
That's great.
We're
And-
talking to, go ahead.
Well, we launched it with a grant from Meals on Wheels America, and we just wrapped up our first round, just ended like a week ago. And we gave away thousands of vouchers. And the reviews were unbelievable. And I would go to this restaurant, I went to this restaurant a couple times the past couple weeks, and people were accosting me. You've got to redo this program. This is the best program ever. And one gentleman said he moved up from Florida, got a voucher, and now he's connected with all of the seniors. And he's joined the senior club in town, and now he has friends. He goes, if you didn't do the voucher program, that would have never happened.
That's great. So we're talking to Jon Eriquezzo, who is the president of the Meals on Wheels for Hillsborough County. 490,000 meals a year just in the county. I'm still trying to get my head around that. I have two logistical questions for you. So considering this is a fundraiser, I'm assuming that your buying power, your organization, your nonprofit status all combine nicely to have a good buying power to be able to stretch the dollars that are donated to really be able to help. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
How does that work?
So, the formula, if you donate to us, you're going to put meals on the table for people. It's plain and simple, really is. And right now, with, food costs have gone up 11% for us.
Right.
They're going to go up another 5%. We just signed a contract with one of our vendors for another 5%. Gas prices. It's Meals on Wheels, folks.
Right.
Right? What are we doing? We're driving around. And when you have volunteers driving and staff driving, it's terrible. It hurts so much.
Do you need help? Do you need drivers?
We need help.
What kind of people are you looking for?
So this is our typical driver. Our typical driver is retired. They volunteer 1 day a week, and it's usually for about 3 hours a day. Sometimes you can do it for a little bit less. You come in, you collect your meals. We have a little iPad that tells you the routes on where to go, and everywhere you go, you click in, meal delivered, did my wellness check, you come back, you report, and you're done. See, I still do a route. I do a route about once every 6 weeks, because when you go out there, it's the best thing in the world.
Absolutely.
You get to sit there and meet people, and they come up to you, and they are so happy to see you. They really are.
Right.
And so grateful. And so I may be having a bad day, a bad morning.
Sure.
When I'm done with that route,
Feeling good.
I'm feeling great.
I'm telling you, it's a life changer for the people that get it. And I know that you're talking about Hillsborough County, but if you maybe have a family member that you think may benefit from the Meals on Wheels program that isn't in Hillsborough County, Google it, look it up to see what the nearest Meals on Wheels program is available in your county, in your town, because it really is a game changer. On so many levels, socially, almost as importantly as nutritionally and health wise, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sneak peek at your logistics? How do you do this job? How do you get the meals together? Where does it all happen?
Well, we have 7 distribution centers in Hillsborough. And as a matter of fact, we closed one down and opened one up in Peterborough. Because we found out through looking at statistics, we were always looking for statistics. We find out where the hunger is, where the older folks are living, and where the poverty is. And we found out actually the Peterborough area was more in need. And we always delivered. Listen, we always delivered to Peterborough and that whole area.
Sure.
But we figured we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we actually started a nutrition center there just a couple weeks ago.
Good for you.
And that was a big undertaking. So the logistics, if you're a big site like Manchester or Nashua, you've got folks that come in early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we start getting food deliveries coming in. They're packing food. They're setting everything up. So then when the volunteers come in, like around 9:30, 10 o'clock, they come in, their bags are already packed, their iPads are sitting on top of it, and they pick up they check, they count their meals, make sure they got the right thing, and then they're out the door. And then it's simply, it takes you through your route. Once you're ready for the next house, it comes up, here are the directions to that house, and then you come back. While they're out, in most places, we're also doing community dining. Okay. And so while the drivers are out, people are setting up for community dining, for folks to come in and enjoy a meal. So it's like clockwork. And then,
impressive.
and by the
really
time the
is.
drivers get back, community dining's done, and everything winds down. And then we get into the reporting phase. If there's, there's always somebody who's missing.
Right.
Okay.
And we've got to work through that. We have a team that works through all that. They're not answering the door, or they answer the door, but they weren't themselves. I mean, we even look for stuff like that. They had the stove running, the gas stove running in the winter. We even look for that.
Okay.
And we'll report that, or we'll ask them. We'll say, "How come you're running your stove?" "I couldn't pay my gas bill." We will get them referrals to help them get their gas
See,
bill paid.
this is so much bigger than if you've never heard, I mean, I know people have heard about the Meals on Wheels program, but listening to this and learning this kind of thing tells you how much more far-reaching this organization is than maybe the title would suggest. And that's going to be true with a lot of the organizations that we talk to through the course of the day. And, one of the things that I learned, too, is, if you bring somebody a Meals on Wheels and there's their dinner, and maybe they're not hungry right then, maybe they put it in the refrigerator, maybe they put it in the freezer. What that does is it also gives them, if they're going to snack, instead of eating food that isn't healthy, they've got healthy food to go to when they want it. Because sometimes the appetite of an elderly person isn't as big, and maybe they'll just say, "Well, put that aside, save that for later. I'm going to eat half of it." But it makes a difference because they're eating healthy throughout the day.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, we deliver snacks with their meal. Nothing like a Lorna Doone cookie or
Can't beat
something
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
like that. Yeah.
Jon Eriquezzo, thank you so much
Great
for,
work.
for the
Good for
Meals
you.
on Wheels in Hillsborough County. And again, mind is blown. 430,000 meals annually. You're a busy guy, but thank you for all that you're doing for our community.
Thank you to you and all of the Meals on Wheels or volunteers across the state that do
bet.
such a great work.
Yeah.
It really
And,
is.
and thank you for New Hampshire Center for Nonprofits for putting on this event.
Yeah, this is great.
It really helps. Give,
Yes.
please.
So Meals on Wheels of Hillsborough County is one of the 590 nonprofits that you can give to. And Jon, thank you so much. I tell
Good
you
to
that
meet you.
that his story, that story, their operations, what they do, the impact it's having on people each and every day that goes on every day, that heaven forbid these kinds of services don't exist, and the impact it would have negatively on lives, but the real positive influence they're having, that's multiplied 590 times over, which is why we're sitting here doing this.
I don't know how you hear that kind of story and aren't moved by it.
Yeah.
The difference that they're making in people that you know, people that I know. Like I said, I have family members that are use that program, and it's heartwarming to know that level of care, not just the meal, but the check and the talking, like the welfare check and making sure that they're okay. Wow, that's worth its weight in gold. You cannot put a price tag on that. But thank you very much if you give to the Meals on Wheels program in Hillsborough County or any one of the organizations of the 590 nonprofits that are available for you to give to today. And they're stretching your money.